Hey everyone, and welcome to this week's project. This week I have a piece from a maple log that I'm turning into a lidded bowl, and I'm going to be using a different kind of wood for the lid, so stick around and see what that is and see how it turns out. So I have it on a faceplate here with the tail stuck up, and I'm have it around 400 RPMs to try to get it trued up. As you could tell, it was very out of balance there, not completely round. I took a lot of the bark off with a chisel and made some really just basic cuts with the chainsaw before mounting it on the lathe. So continuing with the bowl gouge here to get it in balance and completely round. Still a little bit of bark and live edge on there that you see me taking off. This one had a bit of character to it, which is why I chose to turn this one. It just had some interesting deformities, I guess you would call it, but I guess in wood turning too, sometimes the deformities in a log or things that people might think, make it firewood, actually make it that much more of a unique piece. So that's what I'm trying to do here, is to highlight those areas and really call attention to them. And you can see as I'm turning it here, it looks like it's pretty much in balance, and it's a regular bowl. But when I stop the lathe, you can also see that there's like looks almost like a bite taken out of the side, and that makes for a little more challenging of a turn because it is never completely in balance. So have to go a little bit slower at times and make sure that it stays in balance. And could have easily turned the bowl down and taken enough off so that sort of bite out of the side wasn't even there anymore, but that wasn't what I was intending to do here. So here with the skew chisel and defining the foot. So sanding the little chunk out of the side of the bowl there, deciding to make that a bit of a highlight of the bowl. Not the only highlight, but certainly one of them. And reversed it in the 4-jaw chuck here, and I'll be balancing it out so the top is level, and then deciding on the rim and the lip for the lid. So just taking my time here, not going to do a whole lot of hollowing as I normally would. It's going to be a bit of a chunky bowl. Flattening out the top and deciding where to put the rim and the lip. Trying to decide how it would look best in proportion to the rest of the bowl. And that's kind of what I'm doing here. Making some lines, not that they have to stay there, but just certainly as a guide, so I don't take too much off. Seeing how it looks here. Thinking that it looks pretty good, so starting to take some of the material out and define the lip. In the video description, I will leave some links of all the tools and products used in this video, as well as some other tools that I recommend. As a note, some of them are affiliate links and some are not. One of them will be the Carter & Son tools that I'm using, which is the roll gouge and the skew chisel. Both highly recommended. I get asked a lot what tools somebody should get if they're just getting into turning. And I recommend the Carter & Son tools because they're just a very, very solid tool. They'll last, and they're just super high quality. Very well made. And clicking on any of those links in the video description, if you're checking those out, I mentioned that some of them are affiliate links. It does help support the channel. If you're going to buy anything, to purchase it on there. It doesn't cost you any more, and it helps support me uploading content and continuing to make videos. So much appreciated. Other ways to support the channel, you can use the PayPal tip jar. You can become a Patreon member and donate a certain amount every month. Certainly no pressure, just options available if you wish to support the channel. You can also support the channel by just hitting that subscribe button if you haven't already. And don't forget to click the little bell icon and the thumbs up icon. Enough about that. No, I didn't ruin the bowl and start over with this gnarly looking one. This is a jam chuck that I'm turning to be able to turn the lid. Here I have a piece of walnut mounted in double-sided tape up against that jam chuck, and using it to just get it around before I turn a tenon on it and then make it into the lid. I just sort of randomly picked this piece of walnut that I had sitting around, and as you'll see after I turn it and put the finish on it, it really has a, I mean, I love walnut anyway, but this one has sort of a dual tone to it, which I thought was pretty neat. And let me know what you think once you see me put the finish on. Let me know in the comments what you think. So now I've reversed it using that tenon, and this is going to be the top of the lid, and just rounding over the corners and deciding how to make the top. Am I going to make it flat? Am I going to make a handle? Sometimes I don't know until I get there. Sometimes. Maybe if you're a turner and you have it all planned out in your head ahead of time, or even sketched out, it's just not how I do it. Everyone's different, I guess. Let me know how you do it. Do you sketch it out? Do you do it as you go? Do you change it along the way? I tend to have an idea, but never sketch it, and usually 9 times out of 10 it changes along the way somewhere. some denatured alcohol to clean the surface before putting on sealer. Now onto the axe products. First is the axe sanding paste and then the polishing paste. And it really makes this walnut pop. And you can see sort of the dual tone I was talking about there on the walnut in this shot. The axe polishing paste. If you haven't tried the Axe products yet and you are a woodworker, you can get 10% off when you go to axewoodpaste.com and use coupon code PF10. Made in the USA, ships from Pennsylvania, and it ships really fast. So that walnut I knew it was pretty walnut, but it really has some amazing grain. So taking it off the lathe there, giving the camera a little close-up of it before I put the bowl back on to put some finish on the bowl. So the bowl is pretty out of balance here. That was okay. I didn't have it going very fast, even though it looks like it there. But it had been off of the chuck for a little bit, and so I didn't have it back on exactly the way it was. But it was safe enough to get the finish on and finish up the bowl, so I could pair the lid with it and put my logo in the bottom of the bowl. I have a new branding iron. Link to that is in the video description. It's not affiliate link, but highly recommended if you're in the market for a branding iron. So look at that shine from the axe polishing paste. So the maple, here's the branding iron. With the new logo. Well, it's not really a new logo. I have stickers, but I hadn't had it in a branding iron yet. So finishing up that, and the beauty shots are here. Personally, I really like leaving the bite out of the side of the bowl and having that be part of it. The maple is beautiful on its own, but with that added feature plus the walnut just being somewhat subtle, in my opinion, I think it brings it all together. So thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And until next week, peace out.